questions for Shanniah Wright.
Looking ahead, you've got a few games left before tournament. What's the mindset knowing that you can go off on a run?
Well, coach tries to keep us one game at a time mentality. So really, we're focused on beating Georgia Southern. They got us at our house, a few weeks ago. So we would like to return the favor. So, we kind of see big picture every day, but we try to take it one game at a time. So right now, we're just locked in on Thursday.
What's changed about them? Have you seen? Are they pretty much still the same?
They're a good basketball team. I think that was true when we played them. I think it's true now. They're going to give us everything that they got, and we want to give them everything that we got. Nothing for us, I think, has changed. Our game plan is going to be the same, and it really just matters about what we do, not really about what they do.
And talking about Georgia Southern, what, in your opinion, do you think will be the biggest key of emphasis going into that contest?
We got killed in transition. I just watched some film actually on how we got killed in transition. So we're gonna focus on slowing them down in transition. Our half court defense, I think, is, if you guys watch our games, it's pretty solid. So I think we can beat anyone when we keep them in front of us. So we can't let them get easy baskets in transition like that. So limit those. We'll see where we're at the end of the game.
Shanniah, going back to Saturday's game, it was the first real game where you guys had a good start. Like, you guys got off the good start and you kind of kept the lead out a little bit of a blow in the fourth quarter. But going back to the Georgia Southern game about a month ago, you guys came back like on a 23-2 run the last 4.5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So how much do you guys keep that in your mind? Like, if you get down early against Georgia Southern, you have come back from a large deficit and kept them really off the scoreboard that final 5 minutes.
I think if you talk to anybody on our team, we know to never count us out. Fourth quarter, for some reason, we are a great team in the fourth quarter. And I just think that, we look at the score, it doesn't matter. Once we find our rhythm, find who we are, we're a pretty hard team to beat. So we don't like to rely on that because, we like to have strong starts. We don't want to have to come back 20, however big the run was, such like that. And I think maybe if you cut that run to 15, we win that game. So, we want to start strong. We want to finish strong. Playing comeback basketball is not something we are taught, not something that is emphasized in the locker room. I think that just shows that we're a fighting team. We fight no matter what. We fight to the bittersweet at the end. But we're just hoping to have a better start, against Georgia Southern, continually keep control during that game.
And on the players, and do you guys start looking at the conference standings? Like, you're in a position right now where you guys have one bye.
Yeah.
You reasonably can get up to 2.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the mindset in the locker room right now? Like, hey, we still have a chance to get 2 byes going into the tournament?
Yeah, I mean, like I said before, we definitely talk about the big picture. We see the big picture. We know we dropped a big one on Saturday. We could have made it into the top 4. We know we fell in the standings. I think that it's something that's talked to us about. It's something that we're all aware of in the back of our minds. But conference we got 4 teams to go through before we get to conference. So, like I said, we really just want to take it one game at a time.
Anything else for Shanniah? Thank you.
Oh, no problem.
All right, well, opening statement from Coach Kemper.
Yeah, I mean, big week for us down in Georgia. 2 teams that, I think played us really well. We obviously, Shanniah just got done talking about the Georgia Southern game, and that was a tough one for us. They really controlled it for much of the game, and we did mount a furious comeback, but we got to do a much better job of hopefully not being down like that on Thursday. And then, she's right. We got to look at Thursday. Big picture for the weekend and previewing both. I thought Georgia State, their game plan against us was really good too. They really limited possessions early. They played to their post player. She had a fantastic game. And we'll have to be better, a lot better in that game too. I really feel like to a large degree they controlled that one as well. And we were just able to do just enough in the fourth quarter to feel good about it. So 2 tough games. Every game from here on out is going to be difficult, and it's been that way for a while. And I think that speaks to us a little bit. I think we feel like we will compete against anybody, but we also have to play well, and we don't have a margin for error really. And I do think we're kind of rounded into form. I thought we played a very good Texas State team pretty well. Script flipped a little bit on us. Our worst quarter was our fourth. That hasn't happened in a long time. We just couldn't get a stop, and I thought we played good enough offense. We scored 19 points in the fourth quarter. That should be good enough to win at home, and we couldn't put enough stops together to get it done. So that was disappointing in a game that, I thought we fought hard. I thought we did a nice job of controlling it for a lot of the game and couldn't quite get over the hump. But sometimes, 6 in a row, we made a lot of plays in that 6-game stretch to win those kind of games. And maybe your luck runs out, and now we got to reset, and we got to get ready to play well against Georgia Southern.
Going on the road, how do you keep that one game at a time mentality and still focus on the big picture? Because it's easy to look and say, okay, here's where we're at, but you still have to get past Georgia Southern first.
Sure, I think the one game at a time thing isn't that hard to really do, honestly. I don't cloud my own mind on what we have going on. We have people that work ahead on things that matter so that we're prepared when we flip. But right now, it's Georgia Southern's all we can handle, and I think our players understand that too. And I think you heard that in Shanniah, what they're focused on. So we talk about. Anybody in this time of year, if you're not paying attention to what things look like and what it means for you in trying to play well in Pensacola, then you don't have a team that's engaged in what's going on. So that stuff's going to go on, but at the same time, I don't think it's hard day in and day out for as she said, she watched film, the things that we have to work on. Their mind is on that stuff, so we play well on Thursday, and then hopefully that happens, and then you flip and you do it again Saturday, And I do think last week to maybe a little bit of a degree, like we played pretty decent on Saturday. We just didn't win, and so. Is there lessons learned? Were we perfect? No. But I do think we should walk out of that game. They're up there. They've won a lot of games for a reason. That's a good basketball team. I thought they were really tough down the stretch and really patient, talking about Texas State. And so I don't know that we really dropped our heads from that. I think we're all frustrated because she's right. We went from going to be in the top 4 to back down to 8th because everything is so smashed up in there. So we just got to go back to work. But that was going to be, even if we would have went up on Saturday, we were still going to be fighting and clawing for everything. We were going to drop back down if we don't play well Thursday. So it's a big game. I think they're enjoying the place that they've put themselves in right now. And, we got to bring it on Thursday.
When you look at your opponent, what's changed since you've seen them last?
I don't really think anything. I think Shanniah's right. They're one of the best offensive teams in the country, not in the Sun Belt, in the country. So they really push the ball well. They shoot it at multiple positions, shoot it fast. Sometimes I think in the first game we were surprised by that. Sometimes you can show film and you kind of believe it when you experience it. Oh, okay, I got you. She's going to shoot that thing. I thought she might, but she did. And they made a couple shots like that where, most teams in the space we had them don't shoot it. Georgia Southern does. And they shoot it with confidence. They shoot it with confidence for 40 minutes. And so great offensive team. And that's really no disrespect on their defense. They just play super fast, so they're going to score a lot of points. And so we'll have to we've got to do better than 83 points. I think if we go down there expecting to outscore them at their place, I think that's a bad situation to get into. So
talking about Georgia Southern, and saying they fast-paced, heavy scoring, how much confidence do you have in your defense to be able to slow them down and force a lot of difficult shots and kind of?
I'm very confident to tell you we have to play better than we did the first time. They scored 83. They were all over us early in the game. They pretty much did what they wanted to do. So we have to be much better, But I like this team. I don't know that I want to say what my confidence level is. I think if they're ready to go, we're focused on the right stuff. It's still going to be a challenge. They're at home. They're used to scoring a lot. I think sometimes, going back to the Texas State thing, I think sometimes you can play well and teams are still good, And so I'm excited for it. I do think that I think that we have shown growth. I think we're a better basketball team than we were the first time we played them. I think we're a lot more solid mentally. And that's not to say we get that always right, but we've really grown in that. Early on in the year, we were a little bit of a roller coaster, and we're still on it. It's just the baby roller coaster. So it's shorter ups and downs. We're not on the biggest one at Kings Island. We're on the little kiddie ones now.
Coach, you talked about you guys were clawing last week up the top four. Now you're kind of back down by the red range. Is the message to your team like we still have a chance to get up there? We just got to take care of business this weekend to put ourselves in a great position.
Yeah, I think they understand that the margin for error shrunk after Saturday. You're right. I think we do still. There's quite a bit of people within like 2 games right there, but that doesn't matter if you don't. You got to play well Thursday. And Georgia Southern's saying the same thing. We're tied in the standings with Georgia Southern. They've got the tiebreaker on us right now because of the win out here. So, and you look at the teams we're playing down the stretch. They all are very good. And we'll have to play well night in and night out to keep moving up.
Any other questions?
Are you noticing with your propensity to come back, put yourself in a hole, come back, teams, are you noticing more maybe tensing up a little bit or playing a little bit more aggressively now when you have that mentality, that reputation that they're not done in the fourth quarter, it doesn't matter the score?
Yeah, I think that's probably a thing. I mean, I think in preparation, just knowing what we go through, I think that's definitely a thing that people talk about. I'm sure Georgia Southern will talk about that. They absolutely controlled the whole game, and then we really made a furious rally to get back in it. So I know that that's something that they're going to try to avoid. But I think Abby a couple weeks ago said she's heard a coach say that. We've had good fourth quarters. I do think this past week we did a good job of starting much better. And I think that should be more reflective of what we are, but that's also a little bit my roller coaster talk. I think our highs, we never really did have the high against Texas State. We probably had a 5-0 run, but we've had a lot of games here where we've put people in 12-0 runs or 12-2 and things like that. And to give Texas State credit, they didn't let that happen. There was a couple times where, I thought maybe if we can get a stop, we can push it out again, and they made shots when they needed to. So I think it's a thing. I think you're right. I think it's a thing that people talk about. But I also think maybe we're leveling off a little bit too, and I don't see the peaks and I don't see quite the valleys that I saw with our confidence in the way we carry ourselves. And that's not to say they can't put us in that, but I hope that there's been some movement for us that doesn't require those 22-0 runs to have a chance.
Anything else? Go Chiefs.
That's right. That's right.
Thank you all.
Thanks.